Alright, welcome to Pod Crawlers. I'm Erik. This time out, I'm going to talk about 3 movies: The Being, The Last Wave, and Absolution. I'm going to kick things off with The Being. Good old 80s. Movies made then, though terrible, seemed like real movies. Not like the drivel driven out of Shitsville like Headless Horseman or Pinata Survival Island. I'm talking about movies that look and feel like real theatrical releases. Now, if The Being was made today, it'd be straight to the Sci-Fi Channel looking like it was shot on lifeless digital video. And it'd still be terrible. Basically, your basic toxic waste monster is on the loose. This movie is never boring, people die about every 5 minutes or so, but it's always bad. The acting is silly, the monster is standard. Really nothing special about this movie. There is a subplot about a missing boy and his desperate mother, but it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, are we to assume the boy is the first victim we see at the beginning of the movie, or that he is the monster himself? Never cleared up, and it really doesn't matter. Martin Landau is in this movie, but his presence does nothing for the movie. However, there is a neat bit at the end of the movie. There's a rundown of what happens to each main character after the events of the film. It's totally unnecessary, but it adds to the quaintness of the movie. However, I don't recommend tracking this movie down. There's nothing special about it. It's silly. It's good for a laugh or two, but nothing that I would waste my time again seeing. Moving on to a movie that's slightly better, Absolution. A stern priest is targeted by a vengeful student at an all-boys school. The student confesses to the priest that he, the student, killed someone, and as the priest discovers the truth, sanity is soon broken. This is a slow movie. For the first 30 to 40 minutes, nothing happens. Does it build character? Maybe. But nothing that couldn't have been done in less time. Does it build suspense? No. The slow pace of the movie put me to sleep several times. It took me maybe 3 or 4 tries to get through this movie. However, once you get past the first half, the movie picks up once the first confession occurs. Now, some have labeled this movie a quiet cult classic. For my taste, it's too slow in plotting, and for me, for those who know, the worst thing a movie can be is boring. Do I recommend this movie? Only if you have the fortitude. If you don't, it's not worth it. Very slow movie. The Last Wave. This is from the director who brought the world Picnic at Hanging Rock, a movie I reviewed in an early episode of Pod Crawlers, and a movie that I appreciated for its atmosphere, and that's about it. This movie, The Last Wave, is a bit more explicit in its purpose, but vague enough to still be open-ended. The story concerns a trial of a group of Aborigines who are accused of killing a fellow tribesman. It's a case of tribal law versus, for lack of any better term, civilized law. This sparks the defense attorney, Richard Chamberlain, to experience odd dreams which are tied to the murder and the tribal cover-up of events. With that said, this movie is not a legal thriller. It focuses more on Chamberlain's character's eerie visions. And eerie is a great word to describe this movie. The images, music, slow pace, everything builds up and goes up in an explosion of what the fuck. Not to say this movie is bad, it's not. It's good enough for me to recommend to anyone with an open mind. By the way, this is a much better movie than the director's Picnic at Hanging Rock. This is the one that should be more well known. Mount Dragon by, I believe, Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. Mount Dragon, an enigmatic research complex hidden in the vast desert of New Mexico. Guy Carson and Susanna Cabeza-de-Vaca have come to Mount Dragon to work shoulder to shoulder with some of the greatest scientific minds on the planet. Led by visionary genius Brent Scopes, their secret goal is a medical breakthrough that promises to bring incalculable benefits to the human race. But while Scopes believes he is leading the way to a new world order, he may be in fact opening the door to mass human extinction. And when Guy and Susanna attempt to stop him, they find themselves locked in a frightening battle with Scopes, his henchmen, and the apocalyptic nightmare that science has unleashed. Unfortunately, there is too much techno-babble/bio-babble in this book. The first half, while decent, drags. The second half picks up. And I really wish the first half of this book contained the energy of the second. Of the 3 books I've reviewed lately, Plague Year and The Patron Saint of Plagues being the other 2, Mount Dragon is probably the best. It's not as far-fetched as the other 2, but still maintains a nice air of fantasy. I don't necessarily recommend any of these novels, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick this one, Mount Dragon. It's a decent read. Until next time, I'm Erik, and this has been Podcrawlers.